North Western Chronicles, Episode 2, Spencer's Foolish Mistake. Spencer the Silver Engine was relaxing in his siding by Tim the Sheds. He was set to pull a train from Knapford Station with the Duke and Duchess of Boxford on board to a meeting somewhere else around the island. While he was dozing off, a few engine heads gathered at the sheds. He suddenly woke up. Hello, engines. What are you all doing here? We kind of sleep here, said Duck. What are you doing here? Aren't you the Duke and Duchess's engine? I am, in fact. And, why'd you ask that question? Aren't you supposed to be pulling them from Knapford Station? First of all, that's none of your business. And second of all, I have everything organized for that. I don't know, said Percy. If I were you, I would be more cautious about the timing. The whole island of Sodor is about timing, you know. Oh, please, little Percy. As if you know anything about pulling such esteemed characters as the Duke and Duchess of Boxford. Well, anyway, said Murdoch, I think an engine's arriving. Ah, that must be Stanley. And it was, in fact, Stanley. He arrived around the bend. Nearly out of breath. Not Gordon. Spencer. How dare you confuse me with Gordon? Well, anyways, do you care what platform I put your coach on? No, just do it and get it out of the way. Okay, right away. And Stanley rushed away. You shouldn't be so rude to Stanley like that. He's an engine just like you and me. No, he's a tank engine, just like you. I'm a proud tender engine, with important passengers. All he does all day is shunt coaches and cars for big engines. I won't take up any more of this insulting company of yours. I must be leaving immediately to pull the Duke and Duchess of Boxford, completed the engines. Yes, it has a nice ring to it. And with that, Spencer left the sheds, leaving all the engines there, speechless. Spencer had rounded the bend, and by this point he had started daydreaming, with his eyes completely closed. He had no idea what was going on around him, and he was daydreaming the whole time. This meant that when he coupled to what he thought was his coach, he actually coupled to Hector. Hector was surprised, but didn't say anything. He then assumed his position at the third platform, and finally opened his eyes. Yes. Finally, back in the game. Suddenly, Gordon arrived around the bend of the express. Oh, hello, Gordon. Enjoying your day job? This day job is far more important than whatever you do. Oh, please. You pull a bunch of random people. I pull two of the most important people in the entire island of Sodor. Sure, said Gordon. It's only the fact that I keep the railway running. Oh, yes, I'm sure, said Spencer. Speaking of which, continued Gordon, you have a nice coach back there. Oh, yes, Gordon. Please, continue with your random insults and jokes, while I actually get some work done. Well, you enjoy that, said Gordon, but I have a train to pull. And indeed he did. The guard's whistle blew, and Gordon was off. But not just one, not just two, but three coaches. What in the world? said Spencer as Gordon raced around the bend. The Duke and Duchess of Boxford's coach was all but gone under Gordon's hill by the time his driver and fireman had reasserted themselves inside Spencer's cab. What happened, Spencer? They cried. Gordon has my coach. It's with the express. Oh no, said the fireman. The Duke and Duchess are on board. Spencer was so concerned and so anxious that he snapped the coupling from Hector and he rushed towards Gordon. After some complicated maneuvering, Gordon soon found himself at the T-switch with the express, and of course the Duke and Duchess of Boxford's car. He rounded the bend with great speed. He and his crew, however, were still blind to the fact that the Duke and Duchess's coach was coupled to the back of his train. The Duke and Duchess were very surprised, but were powerless to stop it. Gordon started up the hill, but he noticed the train was oddly heavier than usual. This is weird, he said. Before this, Spencer had raced under Gordon's hill. He steamed into the docks. He braked very hard. Whoa, cried James. What are you in a hurry for? None of your business, he cried. Have you seen my coach? Well, actually, said Salty. Never mind, and he raced away from the docks. What was that all about, said Salty. I don't know, said James. Spencer raced above the drawbridge and rounded the bend by the crossing so fast that he nearly hit Laurie off the track. He hit his flatbed so hard that he spun out of control. Whoa! Cried Laurie. Spencer, stop! But Spencer didn't even hear him as he sped past Elswich Station. He soon found himself back at Tidmouth Sheds. Whoa! Cried Henry. What brings you here? Have you any of you seen my coach? Cried Spencer. Well, said Douglas, it seems an engine has lost his coach. Indeed, said Donald. Maybe if that engine wasn't so careless with it and was rude to other engines. Oh, be quiet. This is not the time for scoring points. Do you know where Gordon's Express may be? Well, actually, said Murdoch, at this time it would probably be around the quarry. Okay, thank you. Finally, an engine actually helping me for once. As he spun around the turntable, the engines were silent the whole time. Gordon raced out of the sheds. I wonder if he'll ever find his coach, said Thomas. As Spencer raced through the engine wash, he became concerned about his coach. I'd better find my coach soon, said Spencer. Well, that'll be the death of me. Relax, said his driver and fireman. Everything will be fine. You just need to calm down. He came across Byron, Bill, and Ben at the quarry. Ugh. Have any of you seen my coach? He panted. Yeah, we have, joked Bill. It's on top of Gordon's Hill right now. Yeah, agreed Ben. And now you're powerless to stop it. Oh, shut up, you two. This is a very serious issue. Actually, I think they're right, said Byron. Look, and he was right. Gordon steamed down his hill with all three of the coaches. He raced past Spencer, who was dumbfounded, out of the quarry. The coach had disappeared. What in the world? He cried. He continued. He raced up the viaduct without even thinking about where the points were, and he raced under the hill. Oh dear, said Byron. Meanwhile, at the docks, Salty and James were continuing their conversation, and they heard a familiar whistle. Oh, I think there's Gordon, the express, right now. And indeed it was. Just over the drawbridge, Gordon crested it with all three coaches. Huh, that's weird. Say, Gordon, when was the last time you had a third coach? Third coach? What are you talking about, James? Aye, you have a third coach on the back here. It must be the Duke and Duchess's, I think, actually. Spencer was looking for it earlier. Interesting, said Gordon. Very interesting. His driver and fireman talk amongst themselves, and soon they agreed with Gordon. They were going to play a trick on Spencer. Meanwhile, Spencer had been racing across the viaduct, and he stopped midway, realizing the coach was lost. Cinders and ashes, cried Spencer. I've made such a fool of myself, and in front of all those engines, nonetheless. Spencer continued to sulk when he heard a familiar whistle rounding the bend. Gordon had returned to Norfolk Station for the second round of passengers. He steamed to Norfolk Station with all three coaches. Spencer was furious. Ah, Gordon, get back here with my coach. He raced across the viaduct. He soon appeared on the fourth platform. Gordon, what have you done with my coach? Coach. Oh, please, Spencer, I don't have time for this. Why did you take my coach? Suddenly, a familiar face to Spencer removed himself from Gordon's cab. Oh, Your Grace, Spencer, what have you done? How could you possibly let our coach be pulled on the express? Sir, I had no idea, I swear. Even so, you made quite a fool of yourself. As a matter of fact, I don't think I might consider not having you as my engine. Please, sir, this is all I have. Fine, fine, fine. But next time, don't make such foolish mistakes. And Spencer now agrees. He knows now not to make such silly mistakes, especially when there are high stakes involved.